Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am here with another eyeshadow project update. This here is my Panda palette in order, which is a product that I introduced this year just because I wanted to get some more use out of my singles. So even though it is Panda palette in order, I have decided to work on my singles. And if you're not new to this project, you already know that the singles that I've chosen to work on this year is my Colourpop Depotted singles. So I do have them all in a palette, so that is kind of where the palette section comes in. I did actually randomize the order that I work on them, which is really fun, so I did that in my introduction if you want to check that out. But I have been working on this kind of turquoisey shade over the past month to hit pan on, and that is kind of where I'm sitting with the palette right now. I'm gonna jump into the update and let you know where I am with that shade today, if I was able to hit pan on it, if I started working on the next shade and all of that kind of stuff. But before I do that, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So before I jump into the shade, this part was created by Taylor Buell, and she will be linked down below. I don't think she's posting anymore, but I loved watching the series back in the day when she first created it, and I followed her along every single year she did this. But of course, a lot of other people have also started doing this project and kind of brought it back, and that's one of the reasons why I also started to join in this year. So again, I do have my C palette right here with the shades, and the shade that I've been working on over the past month is the shade Ice Cold. I started working on this one last month, so it's the first month that I'm working on this shade, and this is what it looks like. So as you can see, again, it is this kind of cool toned green, slightly like not turquoise leaning, but like slightly, yeah, I use cool tone green. It is originally from the Mint to Be palette, and I don't know if I said, but I think so. This is shade Ice Cold. So it's been a really fun shade to work on over the past month. It's definitely been a difficult shade to incorporate certain times because it is so bright out there. But I have reached for it 10 times in the past month, and this is where it's sitting today. So as you might be able to see there in the footage, I was able to hit pan, which I am very happy with. Again, I wasn't sure if I was going to hit pan on this shade in the past month. I think color-wise, I feel like it might have been quite difficult. However, due to the formula of this shade, I can thank the formula for hitting pan on it because it is very powdery, and I think that's the only reason why I was able to hit pan on this one in just 1 month's time. So yes, that is the shade right here. It is the smallest little pan. I hit pan on this one a couple of days ago. And yeah, I just decided to not use it more right now. I will of course use this one more at some point, hopefully this year. But yeah, I'm happy with this pan for now because I have hit my goal on it, and I also hit it just before it was due to film this update, so that is perfect. But like I said, it's been a bit more of a difficult shade for sure to work on compared to the other two shades that have been in this project. Let me show you what the palette looks like. So this is the palette right here. So this is the third pan that I've hit. We have Ghostin right here, Frank, and then now Ice Cold. And this is definitely, again, the most difficult shade out of the three. However, it is also the most powdery shade. Ghostin was quite firm. Frank was a little bit more powdery, but not nearly as close to Ice Cold. Ice Cold I have to be very gentle with. Whenever I tapped into it, I had to be like super gentle and just kind of slightly tap my brush in, and I picked up a lot of product, and it also had a lot of kick up, which I tried to collect as well. But I think that's why I was able to pan on it faster. Both these shades took the same amount of time. I believe it was 14 uses. And again, I reached for this one 10 times, but I do also have one use from early in this year. I have kind of decided not to focus on this palette until I hit the shade that I'm going to work on. But I did reach for that shade in a specific look. It's quite a specific type of green, so I feel like I needed it in a look. I think it was in January, so quite a long time ago. So technically it is 11 uses, but for the sake of this project, I counted 10. So that is that shade. Let me go ahead and give you a swatch of this one as well as the one that is next to it, which is going to be our next focus shade. So there we have those two shades. Again, that is Ice Cold on the top, which has been my previous shade that I've been working on, and the one I used to pan on. And then below that is the next shade that is going to roll in, which is of course another Depotted shade. And this is originally from the Mar palette, and it is this kind of cobalt blue right here. This is the shade Detour, and it's another matte. It is another one that I think is going to be quite difficult. It's, I think, also quite a bit more firm than Ice Cold, so it might take longer. However, it is deeper, so I think maybe it's going to be nice to use as a liner. I might use it quite a lot that way just to get that going. I also use it as an outer corner shade. Maybe I'll use it all over my lid for like a smokier blue look. But yeah, it's a very kind of neutral type of blue. So yeah, I think it's going to go with a lot of looks, but it's definitely going to also be a bit harder to focus on, I think. So we'll see with this one. Again, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to hit pan on it within a month. So far I've been able to hit 1 pan per update, which has been amazing, but I'm not sure about this one. It depends on what the formula is like, because I feel like if it's going to take me like up to 20 uses to hit pan on it. I don't think I will be able to use this shade 20 times in a month. If it sticks with it that like 10 to 15, then maybe, but it's still going to be a stretch. We'll see what I end up doing with that shade. However, once I pan on that shade, I finally get into some easier shades for me. The next shade after that is definitely going to be an easier shade. That is like a light yellow, which is going to come in hopefully around then May, June time, which I think is going to work really nicely for those type of warm looks I like doing at that time of year. And then we do have a shimmer, which even though it is like a purpley shimmer, which I don't necessarily normally go for in summer, I feel like it's still going to be a bit easier. And then we do have like these type of shades here for like autumn time, which I think again is going to be quite nice. So I am on a good roll for this palette. This is like the last of these kind of more challenging shades. Well, I had 2 challenging shades, I guess, back to back. So hopefully I can hit pan on it in the next update. I feel like that would be good, because then I can stay on track with this palette too, and try to hit as many pans in this one as I can in a year. But yeah, we'll see how I get on. I'll obviously do my best. My goal is to get at least 10 use out of it. Ideally more like 15, or, you know, if I get to that and I haven't hit pan on it, I'm not gonna like, you know, give myself too much trouble. I feel like using it 15 times will be quite impressive anyway, so we'll see how far I get, but that is going to be the goal for that shade, and we're just going to end up seeing how far I get with it in the next month. But yeah, that is going to be it for this update. It's quite a short and sweet one, because again, I only work on 1 shade at a time, so it's quite quick and rapid updates. But yeah, so it is going to be, of course, another kind of cool toned shade. Again, even though it is like a neutral blue, of course blues are very cool toned. We'll see how it works with everything else I'm panning. Someone did comment on one of my other videos, I think it was my pan eyeshadows videos, saying that they can tell that this project and my pan eyeshadows really affect the looks that I make. So you might be able to see quite a few blue looks coming up. And the reason for that is because I've had a few more colorful shades in those 2 projects. And then for more like office days and stuff, like I'm actually going to the office soon. I'm leaving in about 15 minutes. I do more looks like this. So this is using my Panda palette for the most part. I'm also using my Product Level Up palette, which is the Visu Art Paris Edit palette, and then also some like my singles to top off with some sparkle. But yeah, this is more of a neutral look, which I do go for on the daily, but when filming I feel like it's just fun to be creative, and that's why I usually go for like these brighter tones then, which is why you see these shades be made more appearance in like my videos versus like, for example, my Panda palette. But I promise I do reach for those shades too. It's just mainly off camera. But I'm gonna wrap up here. I hope you guys are having an amazing day wherever you are, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys.